Welcome to Torino. It's a warm, wonderful, sunny day here in Turin, and we hope that you're also having a wonderful day wherever you are. My name is Arepitan Ikenaude, and this is my colleague Nina Minadekis, and we are both communication officers here at the ITC ILO.
Thanks, Arepitan, and hello, everyone. Before we get started, just to let you know, if you need interpretation in Spanish, you can click the little globe icon at the bottom of the Zoom screen.
Yes, thank you so much, Nina. So today, we both will be your hosts today for this webinar. And this is a webinar that we are doing to introduce you all to the Global Facilitator Training, which is an open course that we're organizing in October from the 13th to the 16th of October. And it's going to be hybrid. We're going to have online participation and in-person participation here in Torino in our wonderful campus, which you were just introduced through the video. So if you're able to join us here in Turin, that would be wonderful. You get to learn in our wonderful Turin campus and just be immersed in the Turin learning approach.
We're super excited for this event. So the training uses participatory methodology, and it focuses on emotional and intercultural intelligence and coaching. But rather than hearing from us, let's talk to Monica, who actually designed this training. So over to you, Monica.
Thank you so much, Nina and Arekitan, and welcome to everyone. Welcome to colleagues, friends around the world. Such a pleasure to know that there are so many of you. We have more than 200 connected. So, as Nina was saying, I'm the one who, together with a very good team, we were designing together the Global Facilitator Training. My name is Monica Lisa. You can call me Mona Lisa, that's okay. And I'm the lead of the Strategic Facilitation and Coaching cluster. I think I can say I have been now a global facilitator for more than 2 decades. I also have 4 kids. So, let me say that facilitation skills and emotional intelligence are very much needed, both in my job and in my life.
Thank you so much, Monica. It's really nice to have you here. And I know that organizing this training has been a team effort. Who else are you working with to put this training together?
Yes, sure. Actually, we are quite a team. I had the pleasure to work with Christian Kukokov. He's born in Italy, but raised with a North Macedonian heritage. And he's the one, we're going to meet him later, he's the one who's been working on a research on intercultural facilitation and communication, and he's been working together with me on the design of a toolkit, which we will use as a reference during the training. We also have Giovanni Bassi. Giovanni unfortunately couldn't join us today, but here's Giovanni, I have the picture. Giovanni did an amazing work on researching about emotional intelligence, looking at all the theories that exist out there, and bringing together the different models that were created so far, starting from the 80s, I would say. Together with him, we came up with a model on emotional intelligence, a model that can help facilitators to become emotionally smarter. And is the one that was working on the toolkit with me from the emotional intelligence perspective. Then, of course, we have Ludo here. It's difficult to present Ludo, to introduce him. He's the webinar master today. He's also a great DJ in the Global Facilitator Training, like in all my trainings. We're going to have music, and Ludo is in charge of that. He's also a great filmmaker, if I can say, and is looking after the administrative side of the course. So what can I say? He's the best global facilitator supporter. And
so
wait,
thank you.
my pleasure. I haven't finished because the team is larger than that. I mean, you, Arekip, Nina, and other colleagues in our department, we all work on the Learning Innovation Program. You are all participating in this design effort, giving me insights, ideas, feedback. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much, Monica. Thank you so much. We see some hands raised. We want to let you know that we have a Q&A box. So if you have any questions, any comments, anything at all, please write in the Q&A box, and we will get to your questions later, or a member of the team who is monitoring the Q&A box will get back to you. Absolutely. So Monica, we're talking about the Global Facilitator Training. What exactly is the Global Facilitator Training? If you meet someone and you just need to break it down, what is this course?
Yeah, thank you so much. This is a broad question. I think I'm going to answer to it little by little. So this is an event that is going to take 4 days. As we mentioned, is hybrid, which means that we're going to have 4 days in presence here on campus from the 13th to the 16th of October. But we are also going to be online. And the people online will be present in the course together with the one face-to-face. So sessions are going to be synchronous, and we're going to do all our best to make sure that online people are fully involved in the training delivery. So the Global Facilitator is a TOT, is a training of trainers, is a training of facilitators, but it's not the usual one. First of all, we asked ourselves about the need. Why another TOT, right? Because there are many training of trainers out there. So this is not the usual one in the sense that it's not only about methodologies, participatory methodologies and tools. It's much more than that. And in general, there is always a need for a TOT. Look at that. We have almost 300 people connected, several hundreds registered. And you know why is that? It is because trainers and facilitators are the best learners. They are the ones who care about learning so much that they made learning the purpose of their life. They care more about the process than the results themselves. So we started from the assumption that there is always a need for a TOT, but we didn't want this TOT to be about methodologies and technologies only. We wanted it to be related to transversal competencies that facilitators need during the implementation to make sure that they are really inclusive, empathic, engaging, and they can become smarter from an emotional and an intercultural perspective.
Thank you so much, Monica. So who was this course being designed for, and what can participants really expect to gain out of it?
So, as I mentioned, this course is for trainers, for facilitators, for teachers that work at a global level, that work with different cultures. But we do not have to imagine that it is only for trainers and facilitators who travel, because nowadays the global is everywhere. So I was making the same example with an Italian teacher recently. He in class has more than 10 nationalities. So the intercultural facilitation is a kind of challenge, but also an opportunity that relates to all trainers, teachers, and facilitators. That's why we wanted to focus on the global aspect. Yeah, I think I answered to the first question. What was the second one?
What can participants expect to get out of it? Yeah.
Okay, so as I mentioned, this is a kind of a training that positions itself at an advanced level, but we are going to cover the basic principles of pedagogy. We're going to experiment plenty of methodology, so it's good also for beginners. And we are going to provide a universal design, ensuring that people can benefit from it according to the level they start from. Participants will benefit in terms, of course, methodologies and technology, but also in terms of skills and competencies that make them emotionally present, able to be emotionally aware and to react to emotion in a way that the group benefits from it.
Thank you so much, Monica. This sounds so exciting, but I have to go very quickly on a break, and I'm just going to go to the bar and have some coffee, and I'll be right back.
I see. So if you go away to the bar, then I'm going to go to the Innovation Lab. So
Yes. I have become very Italian, so now I have to drink
that's
coffee.
Okay, that's fine.
So.
We get you, no problem. It's also coffee time. So let's go to the Innovation Lab so that the people connected, the future participants, can also see where the training is going to be. I go to the lab then. I'll see you then.
This is Alessia Messuti, and I have the pleasure to welcome you at the Innovation Lab of the International Training Center of the ILO. It's a pleasure for me to welcome you in this special place. It's also where I spend most of the time as a working professional at the ITCLO, since I work within the Learning Innovation team. I've been working here for the past 10 years, and in particular, here I lead a team of professionals whose focus is working at the intersection between technologies and learning. This team is called Digital Transformation for Learning. And therefore, what do? We observe trends in the digital landscape, and we try to understand also how technologies can best support learning experiences. In particular, a couple of years ago, we worked very heavily on this publication, which you see printed here now in my hands, but you can find it also as a free resource to download on the website of the ITCLO. And what is this guide about? This guide is called Blended and Hybrid Learning, a step-by-step checklist, where you can also find a lot of pictures about this place. Why am I showing you this guide? Because this guide is about hybrid training. And what does hybrid training mean? Hybrid training is a training where some participants are, like me, now in a physical place, and some other participants, like you, are in an online, let's say, environment. You are connected straight from your car, from your place, from your workplace, from your home. So that's an hybrid training where there are different audiences who are participating in a same experience. But most importantly, let me clarify, hybrid training is not about just streaming. It's about making sure that both audiences, online and physical participants, can achieve the same learning outcome with similar set of activities. Why am I saying this? Because this Innovation Lab is the place where we believe at ITCLO hybrid training can become a reality. And I'm quickly walking towards the main screen so that you also see around me how this place is physically, and all of the things that we have here, from a very nice modular and flexible arrangements for physical participants, but also a different set of technologies that we are equipping this place with. And meanwhile, Monica, you were very quick.
Thanks, Alessia, you were great. Thank you so much for this explanation. Alessia is, again, a LEAP colleague, a Learning Innovation Program colleague, and is the one in charge of digital facilitation and much more. I think you already, I didn't get all of it because I was out, but I think you already explained very well what your role is. And Alessia and I had the pleasure to facilitate an hybrid course, one of the first one already in 2018. It was pre-COVID. Pre-financial crisis, pre-everything. And it was quite an experience, and we really tested how online participants can benefit from face-to-face dynamics. So do not worry, I'm talking in particular to those who will not be able to join physically in Turin for whatever reason. You're going to be here with us. We have several screens, and you're going to participate with your, let's say, virtual soul as you were with us in the Innovation Lab. So I think you said that. It's not about streaming. We don't stream learning. We participate and we co-create learning. Did I say all?
Yeah, you said all, and we just wanted to emphasize that in this particular room we have a set of technologies from multi-screen. Now you see us on this particular screen and with this particular camera connection. There is a main screen, there is holographic learning, a multimedia lab just beside us. So mix of technologies that can support the experience physically, online, and most importantly, there will be us behind these technologies. So either a physical facilitator or a digital facilitator at your support.
Great, thank you, Ale. Also, I see that here we have Christian. I mentioned him very briefly before, so thanks, Christian, for coming.
Hello, everybody. I'm Christian. I'm the designer who works with Monica on the design of the toolkit, but I'm also the designer of the GFT persona, which will accompany you to this journey of learning. And yeah, that's me.
Yes, thank you so much. I didn't mention that before, but Christian is studying at the Ca' Foscari University in Venice. He's studying intercultural communication and intelligence together with an artistic touch. So he's the artist behind the Global Facilitator persona. What is it and where is it? So this is an holobox. I think Ale mentioned the technology. We use it to project people who are somewhere else in the world in a 3D dimension, like they were really here with us. We use it to project avatars, and we're going to do that during our course. And today we're using the holobox to project the Global Facilitator persona. This is a silhouette that could be anyone of you listening. It is non-gendered, so could represent whoever global facilitator in the world. It also has a low vision, so could also have one disability, and it has a big heart because emotional intelligence is at the heart of their work. And during day one, for those who have read the flyer, we are going to do design thinking exercise, a systemic design thinking exercise. And we're going to look at this persona, we're going to look at this silhouette, and together we are going to define the competencies that define the global facilitator. Because, of course, with Christian, with Giovanni Bassi, with the other people in the team, we've been defining the crucial, the key competencies related to emotional intelligence and cultural intelligence, and also coaching, which I haven't mentioned, but is also part of the training. But together with you, we are going to redefine, we are going to improve, we're going to complete that competency framework. So the persona will be there to inspire us. Thank you very much, Christian, for coming and for the silhouette. See you soon. I'm going to go back.
Hi, Maria! Oh my God, how are you?
Oh, good, pura vida. You know, it's been almost a year since I got here. Time has flown by.
How was your year been? How has it been for you?
It's been an incredible experience. You know, I have worked with so many colleagues and participants from all over the world. Every course has taught me something new. I've learned a lot from all their different experiences, their backgrounds. it's been a great place to live and to work.
That's really interesting. And that reminds me, I saw that you signed up for the Global Facilitator Training.
I did. I did.
I was so surprised.
I'm eager. I'm eager to learn. You know, that's one of the best things that work here at the ITC-ILO, that we can continue learning. And I'm really interested in the multicultural environments because we have so many participants from different backgrounds. They bring so different experiences, expectations, and I would like to strengthen my skills on active listening, curiosity, also empathy, because I would like to create a learning environment where they feel respectful and engaged. And those skills, I believe that we should always continue keep learning about it. So that's what I expect from the course.
Yeah. So I was wondering, how do you think the course will like really make a difference in your day-to-day job?
Well, you know, as a facilitator, and that we need to create these learning experiences for the participants, I expect them to build based on empathy.
Yeah.
So I know that the Global Facilitator program will bring new ideas, fresh ideas, so I can include them in the courses, and new methodologies. I'm also eager to learn different ways on how to approach, how to make the courses more dynamic, more engaging. So yeah, and then next year I will introduce all of those methodologies into my courses.
That's amazing. I like what you said about like cultural intelligence, multiculturalism, and being able to like adapt your teaching methods to the kind of crowd that you have when you facilitate.
It's true. You know, that's a challenge for us. We receive different audiences, different learning needs. So it's better to keep learning and to catch up with the trends and what's happening so we can have a good portfolio. My portfolio is related with responsible business conduct, human rights due diligence, and of course, decent work. But we work with different audiences. So the best is to keep up and provide the best learning experience for them.
I'm so excited that you'll be a part of the training.
Me too. I'm glad that we're going to work together.
Yeah, I look forward to it, and I think it's going to be very interesting, and that the training would evolve. And you know how you cannot really predict what is going to happen in a classroom because different participants bring their own experience. So I really can't wait to see what we will experience during
Me
the
too.
training.
Looking forward to.
Yeah.
See
Oh my
ya.
God, we should go back to the team.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So, Ara, you're back. That's
Yes.
great. Okay,
Yes, I
so
am back.
how was the coffee?
It was fine. I ran into Mafa.
Did you? So you were with Mafa?
Yes, yes. So everyone, by the way, Mafa is one of our colleagues from Costa Rica who also works as a facilitator. Yes, I ran into Mafa and I saw that she was interested in registering for the Global Facilitator Training.
But she actually already registered, huh? She
Yes,
told me that
yes,
she
yes.
would
She
have
already
done it.
registered,
Okay.
and she said that she was very interested in learning about how to facilitate in a multicultural environment. So how do you see that the course will help people with cultural intelligence and facilitating different diverse cultural groups in one classroom?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. This is quite challenging because we always talk about intercultural, and everyone has his own or her own way, but normally people, colleagues, trainers and facilitators in particular, they are not trained for that. So we did a research with Christian, as I mentioned. I'm going to show you on the screen, if that's okay with you. So
Yes,
it's going to be maybe
absolutely.
clearer for everyone. Let me move. You can see me here, right? Okay, so what we did was we looked at the IADI. The IADI is a quite classical model in the training world. Yes, great. Maybe this is, I'm going to repeat it because the mic was slightly far away, so I'm going to restart. We looked at the IADI. The IADI is a model that is quite famous in the training world. I think that most of you are familiar with it. It's a cycle that reflects the work of a trainer. So the phases of this cycle are analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation. And the results of the evaluation feed in the analysis. So that's why it's a cycle. And as I mentioned, it's quite old. It goes back on time. And we all use it as a reference. So with Christian, we thought, how can we help and support trainers and facilitators from an intercultural perspective? Because, the thing people do is they focus on the implementation. Whenever you talk to a trainer or a facilitator and you ask what makes a good facilitator? What makes a good teacher, a good trainer? They would answer actions. They would tell you actions, activities, skills that are related to the implementation, or like active listening, like participation, communication. But training, facilitation, whatever event that you have to implement is not only about the implementation, it's about the cycle. It's about the analysis, the design, the development of the materials, the tools, the resources you need, the implementation and the evaluation. So we looked at the cycle and we searched for the needs. We spot out a few needs, like the most important one. So from an intercultural perspective, in the analysis phase, you need to be able to recognize your own cultural biases, your assumption. But you also need to be able to understand, to spot, to assess the cultural and linguistic diversity within your participants, within your learner. For the design, what is important is that you design learning experiences that are inclusive, that relates, that resonates to all, and that they are culturally relevant to all. For the implementation, of course, you need to address stereotypes in class, so all those bias, all those assumptions that you have recognized during the analysis, you need to make sure that you address them during the delivery, yours, but also the one of your group. And for the evaluation, we identified the two needs: the ability to evaluate if the learners in fact had an equitable opportunity to learn, and the reflection, or let's say the analysis of the impact of the learning from a cultural perspective. How did we do that? How did we come out with this need? Well, we looked at the different theories, at the different models that are so far present in the intercultural studies. We went back on time, we started from the 60s, and the last one we have is a theory called, the theory that is about the cultural quotient, the CQ, from 2003. And looking at this theory, we found answers for those needs. So the toolkit is going to provide, and of course the implementation of the toolkit that we will do in October is going to provide activities and exercises that will borrow ideas and also evidence from those theories in order to answer to those needs that I mentioned before. I hope, Ari, that was clear. That I could, let me see if I can go back. No, in any case, you have already seen the cycle. Here it is. So we're going to work on these needs using the answers provided by the theories. Ara, did I answer to your question? Was it clear enough?
Yes, thank you, Monica.
Good.
It was very clear. So we see quite a couple of questions in the Q&A box, and I think maybe this gives us an opportunity to really, go through some of the questions people have about the course. Even now, someone wants to know if there are fellowships for participation, and somebody wants to know if this will help them, with like multilingualism.
Okay, so I answer quickly to these ones, although maybe we keep the questions related to registration for the end. But just for you to know, we do have few fellowships still, but only for the face-to-face. And also multilingual. So far, we have we have designed the course in English and Spanish for the online. We can easily do that for the face-to-face as well. We haven't planned any French interpretation because we don't have the group yet. So we need to have a critical mass of Francophone participants who have it in French as well, or Portuguese. We're very open. And we can also use AI to help, of course. So, it depends a bit on the group. For the moment, I can guarantee English and Spanish.
Thank you so much. Talking about questions, Nina also has some questions for you. Over to you, Nina.
Let me see.
Thank you. So emotional intelligence is also a core part of the training. Could you tell us a little bit about how that relates to facilitation?
Yes, okay, this is even more, let's say, broad and extends as a question. I'll try to go through it. Let's say that emotional intelligence is the starting point. I came back to work after 2 years of sabbatical, and I really asked myself, what do I do in a world where everyone is integrating AI in their work? How do we ensure that as trainers we remain humans. I mean, how do we ensure that in our training there is this special, unique touch that only you can give to your training and your event, that only you can give to your group? How can we ensure that the bonding we have with our participants is genuine? Not only genuine and original and unique, but also better than before, no? Because we are meant to improve course by course, event by event, year by year. And that's why I decided I didn't want to do AI, I wanted to do EI, emotional intelligence. And it started a bit as, out of curiosity, but then it became a real passion. So emotional intelligence exists out there since few years. I actually have a collection of theory that I'm going to show you again. So maybe I go back to where I was. Okay, like for the intercultural facilitation, we started from the theories, in this case with Giovanni, which I mentioned, is studying at the Polytechnic of Milano. We looked at the theory from over time, and we have seen that there are several of them. We picked up 5, like the most important ones. Maybe the most recognized one is the mixed model by Goleman. You might have heard about it. It's a model, but it's not a cycle. It's a model with 2 axis. One goes from the self-awareness to the self-regulation, meaning that one should be able to recognize their own emotions. I mean, emotions are real. Everyone has emotion. And the purpose is never to cover the emotion or to limit the emotion or to block them. You have to have your emotion. It's great. And, even biologically, they are recognized as important drivers of our behaviors, in a positive or negative way. So what is important is to feel your emotion, but also to be able to recognize them. That's self-awareness. You recognize them, you name them, and then you regulate the way you react to them. So as I said before, the idea is not to limit in your emotion. The idea is to decide how you react on your own emotion in order to drive or in order to address your behaviors to the direction you want to. From the axis that is related to the individual, to the self, we move toward the social. So you have social awareness, and this is where empathy becomes very, very important. I'm a great fan of empathy. There is an important book by Roman, I have to read, it's Krasnarik, the book Empathy. Looked at it if you have time. In his book, he's saying that if there were more empathic people, there wouldn't be war in this world. Because if we are able to put ourselves in the shoes of another person, then we are going to treat this person in the best way we can. So I was mentioning that from the social awareness, which is actually the ability of feeling what the others are feeling, we move towards social regulation. And this is when we have social skills, emotionally speaking. This is when we can behave with colleagues, with other people in our community, and in our case, with our participants, in the best way that is available to us. So Goleman would be one of the models that most of the people might have heard of. If not, you can always check it out. In any case, we didn't want to stick to one existing model. I mean, they are all important. They can be inspirational. They were very much inspirational to us, but we wanted to adapt these models to the facilitators' needs, opportunities, the life they have. So what we did was to come up, I hope that it slides. Here it is. We came up with our own model. So we have this awareness step, let's say, the initial moment, which, as I said, for the Goleman model, is the moment in which we are able to recognize and name our emotion. We go through empathy, and we arrive to a moment that is the contextual interpretation, the sense making. So with our group, with the people we work with our co-facilitation, because we went through empathy, we can give a meaning to what we feel and to what they feel. And then we move on to regulation at the group level and to a full engagement. Of course, if you come to the course, you're going to see into the details what we mean about that. But let me already anticipate that, as I mentioned before, the work of becoming able to feel what the other people feel is going to be crucial, because we think we can do that until the moment we don't exercise that. We all come with prejudices, with bias, with assumptions, which will affect the way we interpret other people's emotion. So we have to exercise it in order to become able to really feel what the others feel. What is great about emotional intelligence is that it became clear that now those competencies that are related to these 5 phases, because by the way, for each of these phases we identified a set of competencies to be developed. So what is great is that now publicly it's happening also in the public Italian system, that is happening at the European level as well, and I guess it's happening worldwide for kids also and for teachers. It has been recognized that these competencies can be learned. They can be practiced and they can be learned. It's not about a good character, a good personality, or just a good intent. It's about something that you exercise. So that's for emotional intelligence. The idea is to have the toolkit, which actually still ongoing, the design of the toolkit. We have all the exercises related to emotional intelligence, to empathy, and to intercultural facilitation, but we are still packing it in a way that is going to be very much portable. So we're going to use it within the 3 days. We're going to experiment all the exercises, all the activities that are in the toolkit, and you're going to bring it home. And of course, over time, we will integrate all the feedback, all the ideas that might come out during the October course, but also during your testing when you go back home. You can write back to us and we can keep improving this toolkit, which is therefore, something that is not fixed. It's going to be a toolkit that is meant to keep growing and keep developing. Nina, did I answer well? Do you still have any question, any doubts?
No, you did. You answered my question. And it sounds like these are skills that you can use outside of the training, like really skills that you can use in your everyday life.
100%. And Nina, you really nailed it. Actually, the more I read, the more I study about emotional intelligence, and a better person I become, I would like to say. Maybe not to that point, but I feel that there is always room for improvement, because the fact of exercising your awareness capacity, your empathy capacity, your regulation capacity will affect the way you react to other people in general. I mean, issues, conflicts will always be there because the resources are limited, because personalities might be different. I mean, there are many reasons why we run into conflict with our colleagues and with our participants. Actually, there will be real cases in the toolkit that describe challenging moments, but also opportunity moments. And there we see the different way of reacting. So, as I was saying, challenges are always there in terms of conflicts, difficulties, problems, let's say. The difference is how we handle them, how we react to them. We always have a choice, but not always we take the time to make a choice. We just react. And this is what we have to learn. We have to regulate our emotion in a way that we react in the best way for us and for the people we work with. So yeah, definitely it's something that is good in everyday life.
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you. And when it comes to facilitation methods, what can the participants expect?
Okay, so thank you. This is something very, very important to me, crucial. As I said, I've been a facilitator, now I like to say a global facilitator, for more than 20 years. And since almost the beginning, I didn't want to use any PowerPoint or any presentation unless it is, a specific content that one has to share. But in general, what we do is participatory learning, where everyone can bring his own piece of wisdom, his own story, his own point of view. So we do co-creation, and in order to do co-creation of meaning, we use a broad repository of methodologies. We have this large collection which is called the Compass. The Compass, the right direction to learning, is a collection of 60 methodologies that can be used in class according to the purpose of the session. So if you want your participants to solve a problem, we have a set of methods we can use. If you want your participants to brainstorm around an idea, we have other methods you can use. Of course, we won't be able to use all of them, but the toolkit and the exercises that we are creating, designing, adapting for the purpose of emotional intelligence and intercultural facilitation are based on those methodologies. So as participants, the group will experiment several methodologies, several also technological tools. And then we will always have some meta-learning moments. So we will pause after each activity and we will look at what we have done, asking ourselves, how did it feel? How did it go? Was it good? Was it bad? What would you do if you were the facilitator? How would you use in your real life for whatever other purpose? So there is also this reflection around methodologies. But what is important here, and I don't know if I managed to pass the message. So far, what we have been doing in our training of trainer was having people experimenting methodologies as participants so that they could go back and implement them as facilitator. Here, we are adding a layer. We are providing an added value because we would like trainers and facilitators to have the competencies to implement those methodologies in the best possible way, using that empathy, that intercultural inclusion perspective that we also develop during the course.
Thank you so much, Monica. Thank you so much. We see a lot of questions in the chat, and so very quickly we would go into the Q&A. But first, I want to say that we will send the recording of the session to everyone who was registered for this webinar, and that we will also attach a frequently asked questions document to address all of your questions, even if we are not able to address them here and now in the webinar. So all the questions will be answered. We're going to send a document with the recording of the session, answering all of your questions. Just to iterate, the course is fully, it's blended. There will be a fully online part of the course. There will be a fully physical part of the course. So you're able to choose whichever modality works best for you. And of course, the course will come with a certificate at the end. We have a credential system, so everyone who participates in the course is going to be awarded a certificate that they can use in their professional lives. And we have a course page which you can access. If you go in your browser, ITC ILO, Global Facilitator Training, we have a page that gives you all of the information that you need about the course.
We're going to show that, but let me say something before
Yeah,
we go
Monica.
toward that, because we're going to show that at the end. I see an important question in the chat, which is about Global Facilitator. Somebody is asking you, if you're not acting internationally, is that relevant? The course is relevant for you, or can you come? Yes, I mean, the idea is that I mentioned that at the beginning, but maybe I can elaborate a bit on this. We talk about intercultural assumption, but we can talk about assumptions in general. So first of all, even if you don't work at an international level, you might have different cultures represented in your group anyway. It could be maybe the same country, but with different, let's say, territorial culture, for example, or different religions. So you always, in general, I think I'm allowed to say that we all work in an intercultural world. On the top of that, there are other types of bias, and we are going to work on bias and prejudice in general. So it could be class bias, it could be religious bias, it could be gender bias. So even if you believe that in your case you work in a monoculture context, the bias part would relate to your work. That's one thing. The other thing I really want to add, because I've been talking a lot about emotional intelligence and intercultural facilitation, is the coaching component, which, just because I would like that as long as the group is here, I would like to stress that part. The coaching is integrated in the course. I'm doing a process of being certified as a coach, which means that I have seen the added value of having a coach mindset in my training work during the analysis, the design, and the implementation, because that allows you to also understand that you are not the one who gives the answers. You might know the content, but at the end, you are a guide. So if you have this coach mindset, you act as a guide for your participants and you become their greater supporter. So how do we integrate the coaching? We're going to have peer coaching moments. That's in general. So of course, we're going to have some explanation on how it works, the dynamic, what it is, because there is a lot of misunderstanding on what it is. And then you're going to have exercises at the peer level. But we also have a professional coach who will be sitting with you in specific moments so that you can exercise what it means to be coached and start practicing, a little bit as a coach. Of course, we cannot be that ambitious in 4 days. You won't be able to acquire all the coaching competencies, but you have a window open on it. And if you're interested, then you can continue your exploration. Very sorry to interrupt, but I thought that we had to finish the content side before we move into the registration. Are there other questions that you see related to the content?
There was a question in Spanish asking whether or not the training would cover disability inclusion, which I do believe that you sort of touched on, but is there anything you wanted to add there?
No, thank you very much. Well, it happens to be that I'm one of the disability inclusion focal point here at the Turin Center, so of course, I will do my best to include that perspective. It's not a course about that, but we will have it integrated in a way that will definitely be inclusive from the beginning, and will provide all the reasonable adjustments that are needed. And if there is a request, we can have a specific session on that. And don't forget, Arekiptan was talking. I got it wrong. Sorry. I was talking about that before. We have a page, and on the page you'll find all the content and all the materials that we're going to use. So we can add material on disability inclusion as well.
Great, thank you. There's another question about content. Someone says that one of the biggest challenges they face as a hybrid trainer is how to design activities for participants who are very disconnected from the session. Is that something that will be covered in the training?
So it's again like participants who cannot come in the online session, but we look
how
at
to engage online participants.
Okay, so let me clarify this. This is not a training of digital facilitation. So we are not going to cover strategies to become an engaging digital facilitators, because we have to make a choice in terms of content. So we cannot squeeze it in. We can touch upon it, and you can benefit from what the digital facilitators in the course, like Alessia and their colleagues, will do as facilitators. You can look at them as role models, but we are not going to talk about specific strategies for digital facilitation, because it's a training of trainers in general. If there is a group that needs some activities or a specific exercise around that, we can organize it, but we would need a group. Thank you.
Thanks, Monica. And then there's a number of, I guess, operational kinds of questions about registration. Would it be okay to go into those?
Sorry, I was looking at one of the questions.
No, that's okay. There were a number of questions about the registration, and several folks asked about scholarships or opportunities to join, both for the in-person and for the online.
Yeah, sure. Yes, we can go into that. Just one question about the timing. So for everyone, the training is going to be from 9 o'clock to 12:30, and then again from 2 o'clock in the afternoon to 5:30 Italian time. I see that so far we have several people from the Americas joining. For those people, we can have synchronous activities in the afternoon, and for the morning, we can engage them in another session where we mirror what we have done or will be doing in the face-to-face. Once we have a complete participants list, we'll see how to adjust, let's say, the parallel, delivery of the two modalities. But our promise, our commitment is to make it as synchronous as possible. So for the candidate from Canada, yes, you can join. As I said, there are people from Latin America, and we'll see how to adjust the workshop in general. Arikiptan, you want to go back to the registration? You were mentioning about the fellowship.
Yes, people were asking how do they register and how can they be a part of it, and there are questions about the online phase and the cost and all of that. So I think it's more on the logistical side of things.
Yeah. Okay. So very soon we are going to project the page with the cost. Actually, it's there. It's 2,675 for the face-to-face, out of which 715 is the subsistence, and the rest 1,960 are the tuition. We do have some fellowship for the tuition. We cannot cover subsistence. We cannot cover the travel. In some very special cases, we can provide the full fellowship for tuition and subsistence, but the best way is to register. So you register, and then we look at your application form, and then we can, make a decision on the fellowship allocation. That's for the face-to-face. For the online is 1,275, and we don't have any fellowship left, so all the fellowships are for the face-to-face so far. Do we get content or training material while doing the online session? Yes, of course. Of course, it's all the time. Like whatever we do, you receive the... First of all, the content is packed into this toolkit. You might imagine a toolbox, a bag, a folder. We are defining the shape, let's say. We have the content, we are looking at the different shape we can give it, but we would like it to be portable, user-friendly, and very easy to use in your future training. So all the content will be packed in the toolkit. That's first of all. The online participants will receive the toolkit in a digital format. And also the content will be available in the page under different formats. So we're going to have video, interviews, podcast. So the content will always be there. And the results of all the activities, the pictures, we're going to have a forum. I would say that, yes, you can access all the content all the time.
Thank you, Monica. There's another question asking, for folks who are participating in person, will there be any social activities planned?
Say it again, for folks that...
Are there any social activities planned for the participants who are here?
Yes, I was not expecting that one. Well, of course, yes. What we have normally face-to-face is at least one, let's say, team building activity. What we are looking at is to build up a network of facilitators around the world. So not only a group of participants, a group of alumni. I am still in contact with several people who came to my courses, the courses of my department, and many of them are still in contact too. So normally after 4 days in Turin, you become friends. And in order to facilitate that, we normally have at least one, as I said, a team building activity. It could be cooking, it could be, well, not rowing because it's October, but some kind of game, treasure hunt, dancing. I don't want to reveal too much, but we normally do something very much fun. And then we always have a good dinner. I mean, we cannot skip it. We are in Italy and we love to have a good dinners, so we're going to go for dinners all together. And then we're going to make the most of the breaks, lunch, coffee break, for the coaching. We're going to do Socratic walks for different purposes. So yes, I say that you're going to be very much busy. But not stress. The idea is not to stress you out. Everything will be a bit on a voluntary basis.
Yeah, thank you so much, Monica. And the final question, somebody's asking if this program is going to run annually. Maybe they're not able to make it this year. Would there be another one next year?
how can they still, benefit from the expertise you're going to give out in October if they're not able to join this edition of the training?
Okay, thank you, Are. Well, the idea is to have this course packed in a way that can be delivered in the future in different format, either fully digitally, again face-to-face. So probably it's going to be again offered as an open course next year. I think this is very much a possibility, and then we will have it tailor-made as well. So my answer would be yes, but the calendar is not ready, so I cannot guarantee 100%. But it's going to be one of the usual courses we offer at the ITC ILO.
Thank you so much, Monica. This has been a really wonderful experience, and we've gone from, talking about hybrid facilitation, emotional intelligence, coaching mindset, intercultural facilitation, cultural intelligence. It's such a very rich, very, very rich program. What is one takeaway you want to give to the audience or joining us online? Just one thing you would like to say to them, even as we close.
There is so much. Well, first of all, join the course if you can. That would be my first message. Do not be afraid to reach out for whatever question you might have. If you cannot join this year, we can always keep in touch. As Ari Kipton said, we're going to send you the recording. We're going to send you a synthesis of all the answers that relate to the questions you have asked. So those who did not receive an answer yet, you receive it via email. In terms of, let's say, objective of the course, let's say that for me, and I guess for all of you, or the majority of you, being a facilitator, being a trainer is a passion before being a job. And adding the emotional intelligence, the intercultural, the coaching layer is a great journey. And it gives you so much in terms of values, in terms of perspectives, that is something very much valuable. And I really wish you could be part of this journey with me.
Thank you so much, Monica. Thank you so much to everyone joining us today from all around the world. We were so glad that you're able to join us. And it's been really, really exciting to have you here with us this afternoon to talk about the Global Facilitator Training. Nina, do you want to say anything as we close?
Nina, you're going to be one of the participants at the end.
I totally am, yes. So I'll see you all there.
Yeah, see you all there. See you all there.
Great.
Ciao, ciao.
Thank you
so
Ara
much.
and Nina. Thank you to Ludo.
Thank you, Ludo. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Have a great summer break if you can, and see you either in Turin, either online. Bye-bye.
Thank you so
Ciao.
much. Ciao.